Hi, thanks for coming back. So lesson 3 today, same as usual, block optional, grab your mat or get on the carpet and let's get going. So starting with the setup, which is the same as usual, so feet together and then out with your heels, out with your toes, so your hip width apart, then you're going to rock up onto your toes and back onto your heels. So forwards and backwards, just finding your balance, getting any clicks out your toes, and then you're going to slowly reduce that little by little until you find your even weight from toes to heels. Come to a still, plant your feet down in the mat or the carpet, soften your knees and then shoulders back, and we're going to inhale. And on your exhale, lower your left ear to your left shoulder. Inhale, come up to your centre and pause, and then exhale over to the other side. So moving in time with your breath, making sure you pause in the centre to realign your spine. And we're just warming up your neck with this, so your cervical spine. Should feel a little stretch down either side. And let's go for one more each side. Keep breathing and take it back up to your centre. Shoulder stabilisation next, so we're going to inhale, bring both shoulders straight up to your ears, and then exhale, drop them down, empty your lungs. So nice deep inhale and then quick exhale as you drop your shoulders down. You might want to do the exhale through your mouth, because if you do it through your nose it can get a bit messy. Okay, let's go for one more. Good work. Hands on your hips, let's find your neutral spine. So you're going to tilt your pelvis forwards and backwards, sticking your bum out behind you, and then tuck your bum right underneath, forwards and backwards. And slowly reduce that little by little until you find the center point. So point between the two extremes, and that should be your neutral spine. Hold that position there, get used to that feeling. And then we're going to go pelvic floor muscles. So engage them all in and up as much as you can. Try and relax your bum muscles though. So you're isolating your pelvic floor muscles, which are the muscles you use to stop yourself weeing. So squeeze them in and then release. And then halfway. And release. And then 30%, hold those muscles there. Abs, we're going to do the same thing, engage 100%, slide your lower ribs down towards your hips, squeeze in as much as you can, close that gap, and then release. And halfway. And release. And 30%. Hold those there as well. Last part of your setup is your breathing. So we're going to interlink your fingers on your lower ribs, feel your ribs underneath your palms, close your eyes if you want to, and then take a deep inhale into the back of your rib cage. As you do so, you should feel your fingers come apart naturally, and as you exhale, they should come back together again. So nice deep inhale. Try and keep your shoulders relaxed and make sure they're not coming up as you inhale. And exhale, fingers coming back together. Keeping your tummy still. Let's go for 2 more. Should start to feel quite relaxing the more you breathe. And arms down by sides. Lovely, okay, so that's the setup done. Now we're going to move into your warm-up. So we're going to start with side bends, which we have been doing for the last 2 lessons. We're going to add a little knee lift to it, so we're going to get a crunch into your oblique. So a little bit of exercise as well as a warm-up, so increasing the difficulty with this. We're going to bring your hands behind your head. You can either interlink them or just have them resting sort of behind your ears. Elbows are going to press back away from you, and then we'll just start with the upper body part first of all. So we're going to inhale, On your exhale, we're going to crunch down to one side. So you're bringing your elbows close to sort of your hip as possible, and then inhale, you're going to come up to center, pausing in the center, realigning that spine, and then exhale over to the other side. Inhale, coming back. So just move in time with your breath, and you should feel a nice stretch down either side. You want to be mindful that you're not twisting. So as you come down, try not to twist forward. Make sure you keep that elbow pressed back. Imagine the pane of glass in front of you, pane of glass behind you, and you're sliding in between the two panes. Okay, let's go for one more. And then take it back up to your center. We're going to add the lower body part. If it's too much, obviously just stick with the upper body part. Okay, so we're inhaling as normal. On your exhale, you're going to crunch down and lift your knee. So you're going to try and bring your elbow towards your knee, and then inhale, you're going to come back up. So exhale, you're going to crunch down, bring your elbow towards knee, and inhale back up. So moving in time with your breath again. So you should feel that crunch quite deeply into your oblique muscle down your side. And it also gets your heart rate going. So keep breathing. Inhale as you stood up, exhale as you crunch. Really good for your hips as well, so we're warming up full body now. You might get a little click in your hips, I do with this. As long as it's not a clunk, should be okay. Okay, let's do one more each side. My toes again. And up to your centre. Arms down by your sides, give it a little shake off. Okay, so moving on to your spinal rotation. So we've been doing that spine twist. We're going to keep with that, and we're going to get the lower body involved again. This time we're going to hold your leg up. Hopefully it's going to go okay for me. So you're going to stack one arm on top of the other in this Cossack position. Shoulders down away from your ears. And you've got this sort of rectangle shape. You want to try and keep that shape. So you'll see what I mean in a minute. Let's rock your weight over onto your right hand side, but without kicking your hip out. So you stay aligned, you just rock it over slightly so that you can pick your left foot up. So let's start by just having your heel lifted, toes down on the floor or the mat. And we're going to inhale. On your exhale, you're just going to rotate over to your left hand side. And then inhale, you're coming back to your centre, staying in the centre, and then over to the same side again. So we're just doing one side at a time. So getting used to letting your head come round naturally with your arms. It's just the upper body that's moving. It's actually a little bit easier in this position because you've got your toes on the floor. It's very easy to see if your knee's coming round with you as well. So you want to keep knee to the front, and that should make sure your lower body is sticking to the front and you're getting that rotation in your spine. Exhale to twist. Check you've still got the rectangle as well. Check you're not twisting further with the arms and squashing that shape. Keep the rectangle. So it's the spine doing all the work. Okay, let's keep going. Inhale to the front. Exhale to twist. And then we can start lifting that left leg. So the aim is to get it up to tabletop, but obviously go as high as you feel comfortable. You will get a wobble on your standing foot. Mine's certainly wobbling around. It's just it readjusting, finding its balance. Good work. A few more to go. If you are in tabletop with that left leg, you can give your ankle a little bit of rotation, get that warming up as well. And it also puts you off balance a little bit, so it's making your core work a bit harder. And let's go for one more. Take it back to the centre. Lower that leg down, keep it controlled, try not to stomp down. And then arms down by your sides. Lovely. Okay, so let's readjust. You might have moved slightly, so hip width apart, knees are soft again, core's pulled in, pelvic floor's pulled in as well, 30%, and then rock your weight over onto your left hand side without kicking that hip out, keep in line. And then we're going to bring the arms up to that Cossack position. You can try with the other arm on top now. And then up onto your toes. And we're going to inhale, exhale, we're going to twist. Inhale back to your centre. So just moving in time with your breath again. Exhale, twist. Inhale back to your centre. Making sure that lower body stays to the front. And then as you start to feel comfortable with that move, you can work on lifting your right leg up to tabletop. So you can do it in stages. You can just hover above the floor to start with. You'll probably find you're a little bit wobblier one side. I'm definitely more wobbly this side. Just keep that core pulled in, that will help. Keep focused. Try and draw sort of a line with your eyes as you come round. Keep breathing, exhale to twist. You'll feel that standing ankle warming up too. It's all good. Good work. And then last few, we're going to rotate that ankle if you have got your leg in tabletop. Keep breathing. Make sure your shoulders stay down. Let's go for 2 more. Check you've still got the rectangle shape. Don't lose it on the last couple. Lovely. Back to centre. Lower that leg, keep it controlled. Relax the arms. Give it a shake. Good work. Okay, so we're going to do some warming up for your spine with flexion and extension, and a little bit for the shoulders too. So this is going to incorporate the roll down that we've done quite a lot of, and also a little stretch at the top, maybe a little bit of balance as well. So hip width apart with the feet, standard, and then we're going to inhale at the top. On your exhale, you're going to bring your shoulders forward, arms hanging in front, so exactly the same as a normal roll down. You're going to roll it down until you find your point of tension, so you feel backs of your legs, probably your hamstrings will start stretching. Then when you reach the floor, we're going to inhale. On your exhale, you're going to roll it back up, same speed, so keep it controlled, pull in your belly button. As you get back to standing, you're going to bring your hands slightly wider than your shoulders with your palms facing each other. And then you're going to lift your arms up over your head, rotate your palms inwards and stretch back a little bit as long as your back's okay. You can stay in line if you have got any back problems, or if you want to lean back slightly. Just make sure you keep your core pulled in so that your rib cage stays tucked in. And then we'll inhale at the top. Exhale, bring the arms back down, palms facing behind you. Then you're going to roll the shoulders forward, roll it all the way down to the floor. So it's a nice flowing move. Inhale at the floor. Exhale, restacking your spine, keeping it controlled. Arms are going to come slightly wider than your shoulders with palms facing behind you. Then you're lifting up, rotating the palms inwards. I'm not sure if you can see my hands anymore. And then reach behind you. Keeping mindful of how your back feels, shouldn't feel any pain, should just be a nice opening in the chest. Inhale at the top, exhale to come down. Rolling it down. So you can keep it as a continuous move, you don't need to pause at any stage. Inhale at the floor, exhale coming back up. Lovely, bring it up, rotating the palms, stretch at the top, inhale at the top. At the top. Exhale, coming down. So I really like this move. It's nice, gentle, full body stretch and warm up. Okay, we've got 2 to go. As we lift the arms this time, see if you can come up onto your toes as well. And add that bit of balance. It's quite tricky with that back bend. So keep the core pulled in. Inhale. Exhale, coming down. We're going to go one more time. all the way down to the floor. Inhale, exhale, coming up. And then lift up onto your toes, hold at the top, take a breath. Inhale, and then arms down by your sides. Good job. Okay, last little bit of a warm up. We're going to do lunges. So you've probably all done lunges before, whether you've done Pilates before or not. It's pretty much a standard in any type of exercise. So you want to stand at the back edge of your mat. We'll start with your right leg. So you want a nice big step forwards. We're going to do static lunges, so that you don't have to move back and forwards. The further apart laterally your feet are, the better your stability will be. So if you're a bit wobbly, then just walk that front foot out slightly so that you've got a better stance. Or if you want to make it harder, bring your feet more in line. Okay, and then we're going to bend both knees. So you want to aim for, it's going to be a little bit bigger than a right angle at each knee. Keep your chest up, so try not to lean forwards. You can have hands on your hips, that tends to help with keeping your chest up. And then all we're going to do is inhale as you sink down into your lunge, exhale as you lengthen both legs. Inhale as you sink down, exhale as you lengthen both legs. So depending on how tight you are in your hamstrings, when you lengthen your front leg, you might feel it stretch a little bit, which is nice. And all you want to think about whilst you're doing this is keeping your front knee behind that toe. So readjust if you need to. You want your back knee sort of hovering above the floor. Inhaling as you're coming down. Exhaling as you're pushing up. Good job. We're going to do a few more. So this is getting your knees and your hips and also your ankles. And because your back heel is lifted, it's stretching those toes, which you can probably feel. Let's go for 2 more. Good job. And then step it up. Give that back foot a little wiggle. Stretch those toes out. Okay, let's do your other side. So back to the back edge of your mat. This time left foot's going forward. Find that position. So find your balance. Decide how far inwards or outwards that front foot's going to be. And then we'll give it a test. So sink down into your lunge. Make sure you've got this front knee behind your front toes. Chest is lifted. And we're going to exhale as we push up. Straighten both legs. Inhale as we come down. Exhale as you push up. Inhale, coming down. So really simple. It's all just about finding that position first of all. Once you've got that, you're sorted. It's a little bit of a burner. It starts off quite easy, and then when you've done a few, you can feel it burning. Good work. A few more to go. You're doing great. I believe in you. Don't give up. Okay, let's go for 2 more. And step it back together. Cool, okay, so that's your body nice and warm now, hopefully. And we're going to roll down into the first exercise now. So we're going back to that leg pull prone, which is a different name for a plank basically, that we did in the first lesson. We're going to add a few bits to it today. So no press ups today, you'll be pleased to hear. Okay, so back to your hip width apart, and we're going to roll it down. You're going to inhale at the top, exhale coming down. Bend the knees if you need to in order to get your hands to the floor. Then we're going to walk your hands out, and let's come onto all fours first of all. And we're going to lengthen your legs out behind you all the way down onto your tummy. Okay, so just get comfortable first of all. Elbows are going to be underneath your shoulders. Palms are going to be shoulder width apart. Palms facing the floor or in fists with this. See how you feel, whatever's more comfortable. And then make sure you're pressing into the mat. So you're pulling your shoulder blades apart rather than sinking down. Okay, so we're going to go straight for just holding a normal plank first of all. So we're going to roll up, and you've got a choice of whether to hold it on your thighs or right up onto your toes. So I'll give you both options. Let's inhale. On your exhale, you're going to roll up so that you can feel the weight in your thighs. So more than welcome to stay here if this is enough for you. If you want to go a bit harder, you're going to tap one toe under, lift the knee, and then tap the other toe under, lift the other knee, and find your position. So nice deep breaths. Pressing into the mat, keeping your shoulder blades apart, making sure your bum's not too far down or too high, keep it in line. Any pressure in your lower back, lift your bum up a little bit. And then just focus on your breathing, keep your core pulled in. Well done, you're doing great, nearly there. Just go one more breath, and then exhale, roll it back down, untuck your toes. Whew. Give your arms a little shake. Okay, so that is your first plank. We're going to do 3 planks today. We're going to do some moving planks, but you've always got the option of coming back to that. So if the moving planks are too much for you, just hold either the plank on your thighs or the plank on your toes. Okay, so we're going to come up onto your elbows again, and we're going to do a little step side to side. So let's get back into your position. Elbows below your shoulders, make sure you're pressing into the mat. Legs are hip width apart, and then we're going to inhale. Exhale, we're going to roll it up onto your thighs, then you're going to tuck one toe under, lift the knee, tuck the other toe under, lift the other knee, readjust. Okay, you're up in your plank. We're going to inhale. On your exhale, we're going to tap your right toe out to the side, so off your mat. Inhale, you're going to bring it back to your centre. Exhale, over to the other side. Inhale, back to your centre. So moving side to side, breathing in time. It's hard to talk and do this at the same time. Keep going, keep breathing. Tap one side, tap the other side, and nearly there, you're doing great. Let's do one more each side. And then knees down, unroll. Hey, hey, hey. Give it a little shake. Okay, one more plank to go. This time, you're going to do it on your hands, as long as your wrists are okay. Option to stick with either of the other 2 we've done. Okay, let's just readjust. So, hands are going to be below your shoulders, you're on all fours. Fingers spread apart, so you've got a nice wide stance for your balance. And then we're going to lengthen your right leg out behind you, then your left. So you're in a, I think this is called high plank. Okay, eye line's going to be just above your hands. Press into the mat, and we're going to tap knees. So right knee taps down and lifts. Left knee taps down and lifts. Right knee and lifts. So you want to try and keep your hips still, as still as possible whilst you're doing this. So try not to rock around. And keep breathing. Good job. Two more each side to go. I've got a wobble on. Keep going, one more each side. What was my ankle? And then both knees down, untuck your toes. Sit back on your heels, rock it side to side, roll your wrists out. Oh, Jean, that was tough. deep breaths, bring your breathing back to normal. Okay, so we're going to go on all fours now. If you do end up getting pain in your wrists from being on your hands, you can come up onto fists, and you can see that keeps your wrist in line. It can crunch your fingers a bit, I'm not a massive fan of it, but it's an option if you want to protect your wrists. Okay, so all fours, hands are below your shoulders, knees are below your hips, legs are hip width apart, and hands are shoulder width apart. So we're going to go into that swimming exercise and add a little bit to it today. So it actually gets your core working quite hard. It's much harder than it looks. I'm going to flick that out of the way actually. Okay, so core engaged, eye line just above your hand, pressing into the mat still, keeping those shoulder blades apart. And we're going to inhale. On your exhale, your right arm, left leg's going to draw a line out in front, so keeping that weight centred, like we were working on with lesson 1. Then we're going to open out to the side, so right arm's going to come out to the side off the mat, left leg is going to come off to the other side, and then back to the centre, and retrace, and try and avoid that weight shift. As you go over to the other side, draw the line out, open out sideways, so limbs are coming off the mat, back to your centre point, and retrace over to the other side. So just moving in time with your breath. Not hugely important how you're breathing with this, because it's quite a long move. You don't want to be holding your breath at any point. That is the most important part. Out to the side, back to your centre, retrace. Make sure you keep that eye line in front of your fingers as well, to keep the back of the neck long. It's very tempting to look back down to your legs when you're doing exercises like this. So this is full body, working your shoulders. You can probably feel keeping your body lifted. Really good for your joints, shoulder joint and hip joint. Working your core. And it's great for your control and coordination, so you want to try and be in sync with both limbs, arriving back at your starting position at the same time. Okay, let's do one more, and then we're going to add something to make it a bit harder, if you so wish. Okay, readjust if you need to, make sure the fingers are still spread and your knees are still under your hips. Okay, also make sure your weight is even over your limbs as well. You're not leaning forwards or backwards. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing. We're going to draw opposite arm, opposite leg out. This time we're going to lift. So up to hip height or slightly higher, then open out to the side, opposite ways, then back to your centre, then lower and retrace. So it's the same move, you're just doing it in the air, which you'll probably feel works your core a lot harder, and also your oblique down your side. So we're toning your waistline, which is perfect for the summer bod. Female and male summer bod. Okay, keep breathing, just breathing in time with it. Keep in sync. You can probably feel your glute getting involved as well in your bum. Oh, out and then lift. Good, try and keep your body in line. Try not to swing side to side. Nearly there now. And let's do one more each side. Lovely, last one. Take it down, retrace, and then sit back on your heels. Give your arms a little shake off. We're going to give them a break now and do some lower body. Okie dokie. So, we're going to do a bum exercise. This is a killer. Anyone that comes to my classes will know these exercises well. And will probably be groaning right now. Apologies, but they do work. And the more you do them, the better they get. It's the first time's the worst. Okay, so coming down onto your left-hand side. Ideally, you want your head in your hand, but I know this is uncomfortable for some people, it can be a bit funny on your neck. So if you do feel anything in your neck, more than welcome to come down with a straight arm, head rested on your arm. But if you lifted, you do get a little bit of extra cheeky workout in the oblique. Okay, knees are going to be in front of the body, feet are going to be in line with your bum. And then hips, knees and feet are stacked, one on top of the other. This spare hand can go wherever for support, just make sure you're not leaning into it. So just wherever's comfortable, just hang in there. Let's tuck this little bit in. Okay, so we're going to start with your top leg, your right leg. We're going to lengthen it out nice and straight. So bottom leg's just going to relax until we do the other side. Try and keep your eye line to the front, try not to look down at your foot because that will crunch your neck. That's it. So toes pointing to the front, leg nice and long, and then we're going to inhale, keep it hovering above the floor, and on your exhale you're just going to lift it until you feel that squeeze in the side of your glute, so your bum muscle here. Then you're going to inhale, lower and hover above the floor, and you're going to exhale, lift. So really simple. We've got 4 parts to this exercise. And you want to try not to relax in between each part. The idea is that you do build that burn, that lactic acid, and you just got to breathe through it. The more oxygen your muscles get, the better it will be. So just keep breathing. Exhale to lift, inhale to lower. And right now you're probably thinking, this is alright. Just you wait. Okay, doing great. It's also a good workout for your leg too, your leg muscles, so it's toning your leg as well, not just the buttocks. Okay, we've got 3 more here. Okay, now we're going to go hip height and we're going to pulse that leg. Try and keep your core in so that you're not shaking all over the place. And you're just going to go tiny little movement, so just like an inch either side of that hip line. Keep breathing. So you're just breathing normally. And this is probably when you start to feel that burn building. 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold that leg there. We're going to bend at the knee so you get a little bit of relief, but keep it hovering. Now we're going to go knee to knee, so tap that top knee down to the lower knee, kick the foot out, and then toe to toe, so this knee opens out into this clam position. So you're going to go knee to knee, toe to toe. And try not to rock with this hip, so try not to lean back as you open out. You keep that hip stacked, and that's what gets the glute muscle. So everything stays still apart from hip downwards on that top leg. So breathing whichever way round you feel more comfortable. Inhale for 1, exhale for the other. And you might find the burns move slightly with this, maybe into the hamstring a little bit, round the butt cheek, towards the back of the butt cheek now. Good for strengthening your hip as well, so lots of stuff happening. Well done, keep kicking that foot out, make sure you kick it right out. Keeping this hip still so you can put your hand there to check if you want to. Good job, you're doing great. Keep breathing. Okay, let's do 3 more of each. Knee to knee, toe to toe, knee to knee, toe to toe, and last one, knee to knee, toe to toe. Okay, keep that leg hovering. This is the last bit. Try and get through it if you can. Try not to give up. You're going to bring the knee down to the mat. So a little bit of relief here, in front of the lower leg. Then you're going to kick it out above your hip height. So you're going to inhale, tap the knee down. Exhale, kick it out, flex your foot so you're pushing from your heel. Inhale, tap. Exhale, kick. Inhale, tap. So last bit. Keep going. Well done, we've got 3 more. Hold it, inhale, exhale, and then inhale, lower it down. Bring both knees in front of your chest, let your head come down, give it a rub, your leg. Well done. That's a killer. Okay, so when you've finished having a stretch, Heather, we're going to do some abs. So you can use a block. If you have one, you can put it behind your head. I'm not going to use it, but you can right now. I'm going to start with a single leg stretch. So coming onto your back. Just get comfortable first of all, so you've got your knees and your feet hip width apart. You want to find that neutral spine, so you can tilt your pelvis forwards and backwards again. And then slowly reducing that little by little until you find your centre point. Hold that position there, so you should have a small gap underneath your lower back. You're going to try and keep that position with your back if you can. If your lower back comes down to the mat, that's absolutely fine. Just don't overarch your back. Okay, abdominals and pelvic floor pulled in 30%. Shoulders down, away from your ears, arms by your side for the moment while we set up. Okay, so let's inhale. On your exhale, you're going to bring your left leg to tabletop. And then we're going to inhale. On your exhale, your right leg's going to come to tabletop. Okay, so you've got an option of doing this with your head down or your head lifted. The full exercise you would have your head lifted, but see how you feel. So we can start lifted, and then if you get any pain in your neck, you can pop your head to the floor. So we're going to lift up. I'm going to keep your knees over your hips, right angle at the knees, and we're going to cross the body. So we're going to place your right hand on the outside of your left knee, and then your left arm is going to be further down that leg, so you're sort of twisting with the body a little bit. Then we're going to lengthen your right leg to hover above the floor. Then we're going to cross over, lengthen your left leg, place your left hand on the outside of your right knee and your right hand further down that leg. Then cross over to the other side. So you're inhaling for one, exhaling for the other. It's good for your brain because there's quite a bit of coordination going on. Really good for your abs. Any pain in your neck, either let your head come down to the floor, or you can just pop one hand behind your head and just switch with one arm. Well done. So this is quite an intense exercise, so take breaks if you need to. And you can always let your head and arms relax and just continue with the legs. Don't feel like you have to do the whole exercise. Lovely, you're doing amazing. Keep going. I'm going to go for a few more. Keep that leg hovering above the floor. Try not to let it touch. Okay, let's do 2 more each side. And then bring the knees to tabletop, take them down one at a time, head comes down, and full body stretch, stretch it off. Turn your head side to side in case you've built up any tension in your neck. So it's a bit of a killer, that one, a bit of a nasty one for me to put in. But the best ones hurt the most, so. Okay. So we're going to do another set. We've got option to move it to a double leg stretch, which can be a bit harder, but we're going to keep our head on the floor. So if you felt a bit of pain in your neck or any tension building up, this might be a good option for you to change to this other exercise. See how you feel, give it a go. If you're hating it, then going back to the single leg stretch and do another set of those. So we're going to set up just the same. And make sure you're in that position. You've got that neutral spine, everything's pulled in, arms are down by your sides, shoulders are away from your ears. And then we're going to inhale, exhale, left leg comes up, inhale, exhale, right leg comes up. Check you've still got that small gap underneath your lower back there. Okay, this time it's a bit more simpler with the arms. You're going to take left arm to the outside of the left knee, left hand to the outside of the left knee, right hand to the outside of the right knee. And all we're going to do is we're going to inhale. On your exhale, we're going to send your legs away and bring your arms up over your head, and then inhale, you're coming back. So exhale, you're coming out, inhale, you're coming back. Make sure you just come back to that tabletop, you don't come back any further, because this position gets the lower abs working, and they're the abs that are hard to tone, so we want to be doing that. Exhale, open out, inhale, coming back. You've got your head down on the mat for this. So great for the core, you've got your joints moving, full body, got your neck protected, which is great. And this should be working lower abs predominantly. And that other exercise we were doing was doing full abs. So it might be slightly easier, but you've got both legs moving. Yeah, my breath problem. Well done. Feel your quads warming up as well, fronts of your thighs. Okay, let's go for 3 more. Well done. Take your legs down. Full body stretch. Whew. Lovely. Okay, so we're going to do a little bit more abs, but this is a bit different. Rather than sort of being led down and moving your legs and arms about, we're going to do a nice flowing movement. So it's very similar to the warm-up we did, where you're rolling down, standing back up, lifting your arms up, but you're sat down. So you'll see what I mean. So we're going to start with your, you want to sit at the front edge of your mat. We're going to have knees and feet hip width apart. And then you want to bend at the knees, feet on the floor. I'm going to take this in stages so that you can pick where you want to be with it. Okay. So we're going to have arms out in front, palms facing down, shoulders away from your ears. We're going to inhale here. On your exhale, you're going to roll down. So you're making a C shape with your spine. Until you find that point of tension, you'll feel your abs start to engage. And then inhale, you're going to come back up to seated and restack your spine back up to a nice straight back again. So exhale, you're going to make that C shape with your spine until you feel that engagement in your core. And then inhale, you're going to come back up to seated again. So it should be quite nice on your back. Good on your abs as well. Keep breathing, inhale, coming back up. And obviously if you're finding it easy, just come down a little bit further. Inhale, come back up. Okay, let's go for one more like this, and there's option to make it a bit harder if you want to. So back up to seated. If you're more than happy with what you're doing, just stay there and keep practicing that. Maybe come down a little bit further as you get used to it. Okay, this time we're going to inhale. On your exhale, you're going to roll it down. We're going to go all the way down to the mat. So keeping it controlled, then you're going to lift your arms up over your head. Inhale. Exhale, you're going to restack and come up back to seated again. So that's your full move. Inhale at the top. Exhale, roll it down. Keep it controlled, so try not to flop down on the mat. You want to come vertebrae by vertebrae. Inhale. Exhale to restack. Back up to seated. So just keep going in time with your breath. The slower you go, the better with this move. Try not to pause whilst you're down on the mat, because you lose your momentum. But also try not to launch yourself back up. So as you're down here, it can be quite tempting to use your arms to get back up and launch yourself. That's just using momentum, not your core. So you're missing out on the benefits by doing that. So you're better off, if you feel that's the only way you're going to get back up, just do the thing we did at the beginning where you just come down halfway. Okay, rolling it down. Try and keep your feet down on the floor as well. They tend to want to lift as you come back up. Okay, let's add a little leg stretch for the last couple. So we want to lengthen out your legs in front of you. So you've got long legs. We're going to reach towards your toes. Inhale. Get that nice stretch. And then on your exhale, we're going to roll it down. So same move. Arms up and over. Restack. Reach towards your toes. Deep inhale. So you can do this with the half roll down as well. Just come down halfway. Keep your legs straight. Reach towards your toes, get that stretch. Okay, let's just go for 3 more. Inhale as you're down there, restack, try not to launch yourself. Get that stretch. Inhale, exhale coming down. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, lifting, reach. I love this exercise. Good, let's go for one more. It's really good for your back as well because you're moving all your vertebrae individually. So it's really good for that. Stretch at the top. Let's stay here for a couple of breaths now. And then release. Oh, that was lovely, wasn't it? Okay. So, a side exercise. You're going to do your other butt cheek now so that you don't hobble out of your room. Keep you nice and even. So you're coming onto your right hand side. So you come all the way down. You want head in your hand if that's comfortable. If not, head on your arm. Doesn't really matter, you just get a bit more of a workout in your oblique. Knees in front of the body, feet in line with your bum. Hips are stacked, knees are stacked, feet are stacked, spare arm wherever you want it. Just don't push into that arm. And then when you're comfortable, eye line to the front, and you're going to lengthen your top leg, toes pointing forwards. Hover just above the floor, keep the core pulled in, so make sure you're not just slumped with the upper body. And then we're going to exhale, lift, squeeze into the side of your glute. Inhale, lower, hover above the floor. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. So, unfortunately, you know what's coming with this now, so it can make it a bit harder. There is actually a subconscious thing, if your body knows what's coming, tends to start sort of like tensing up and getting worried about it. So just keep breathing. The best way to relax your body is that deep breathing. But the good thing is you know you can do it. So try and get through all 4 exercises without taking a break. That's where you'll get the best benefits. Breathe through the burn and it'll be over before you know it. Well done, we're nearly done with this part. Let's go for 2 more. Okay, now we're going to go down to the hip height and we're going to go for those pulses. So try and keep the core strong so that you're not rocking around too much. Probably get a little rock, but try not to rock too much. And you're just going really small movement, a couple of inches. Keep breathing. Just take your mind away to a different place is the best way. Just ignore your leg. It seems to help. Okay, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now we're going to go knee to knee, toe to toe. So you're going to bend that top leg, keep it hovering. You're going to tap the knee down to the lower knee, kick out the foot, and then toe to toe, bring that knee out. Knee to knee, toe to toe. Pop your top hand on your hip and then you can feel whether you're rocking back. You want to keep your hips stacked so there's barely any movement there. And then just breathe in time, whichever way around you prefer. Knee to knee, toe to toe. So this is where the burn might start to move around a bit to your hamstring, maybe a bit more on the back of your butt. So we're trying to get the full glute area working. So you look fabulous. Well done, keep going, try not to give up. You're doing great, keep breathing. Keep relaxed with your shoulder, try not to tense up. Nearly there with this part. Make sure that foot's kicking right out each time. Okay, 3 more to go. 3 more knees, 3 more toes. Well done, and then lift to your hip height. Last section. Tap the knee down in front of your lower leg on the floor. Then you're kicking it out above your hip height, pressing from the heel. So you're going to inhale, tap the knee down. Exhale, kick that leg out. Inhale, tap. Kick that leg out. You might feel that on the outside of your lower part of your leg. This is a little bit more of a leg workout, this section, than your butt, but butt's probably still burning. So breathe, last section. Well done, nearly there. This is our last exercise as well, so use up your last bit of energy. Let's go for 3 more. Hold, inhale, exhale, inhale, lower. Whew. Bring that knee in. Give your leg a rub. Well done. Okay, so we've got some yoga-y stretches to do today, which are quite fun. So let's go through those. We're going to start with spinal rotation and shoulder stretch, and then move through the rest of the body. So we're coming up onto all fours. So find your position, hands below your shoulders, knees are below your hips, and then pressing into the mat again, same as usual. We're going to inhale and lengthen your right arm out in front, and then on your exhale, you're going to thread the needle. We're going to bring your right hand in between your left wrist and your left knee, all the way through, and bring your ear down to the floor. If you find like you're pushing into your head too much, you can pop a block underneath your head at this point, if you want to. So, depending on how tight you are with your shoulder, you might feel this stretching out your shoulder, or you might not feel anything. It's really good for your spine anyway, but to increase it, you can lift this left arm up, bring it all the way around. You can hook your fingers in your hip crease, so sort of underneath your side, and resting your fingers on your thigh, and really press that top shoulder back. And that just increases the rotation in your spine. So it's a bit of a weird position to get into, but it's really good for your back and also stretching out your shoulder. So let's just take a couple of breaths. And then unhook your hand if you've got it there. Bring it all the way back round. Place your palm in front of your face, push into your hand, unhook, and you're back to where we started. Let's do the other side while we're here. So you're going to lengthen your left arm out and lift. Inhale. Exhale, you're going to thread the needle all the way through. Bring your ear down to the mat. And then if you want to increase, lift this spare hand. You can, if you can't reach your hip crease here, you can just place your hand on your lower back and draw that shoulder back. And then take some deep breaths. Unhook, hand back in front of your face, and unhook. Hopefully you could hear me then. I forgot that I would be facing the other way. Okay, so we're going to go inner thighs now, because they were working when we were doing that side bum exercise. So on all fours still, and you just want to check you've got padding under your knees when we do this, because it can be quite intense. So hands below your shoulders again, knees below your hips, and we're going to step your knees out equal distance either side. So step them out until you feel the stretch on your inner thighs. So it could be quite intense. Just breathe into it. Make sure you haven't gone too far down into the stretch. You don't want any sharp pains or anything. And we've got an option to make it a bit more intense in a second. So take a few deep breaths. And then let's inhale. If you want to make it more intense, we're going to come down onto your elbows. You can even rest your head if you want to. And then breathing. And inhale, exhale, push yourself back up and slowly walk your knees back into your centre. Give it a little wiggle out. Okay, so let's do some stretching for hamstrings, hip flexors and glutes. You definitely need to do the glutes after that bum exercise. So starting with your right leg, we're going to bring it out in front of the body, nice long straight leg. And then we're going to bend the knee and bring the hips forward. So you're going from this position to this position. You want your knee just above your ankle, so readjust that foot if you need to. Check that back knee's comfortable. And then you can either stay lifted, or if you're more comfortable down here, you can come down here. I think you get slightly better stretch if you're lifted. So you should feel it in the front of your left hip. Breathing into it. Okay, let's move this into your hamstring now. So we're going to inhale. On your exhale, push into that front foot. We're going to bring the toes up towards the ceiling, and then we're going to, well, you might already feel the stretch in your hamstring. So if you do, if that's enough for you, stay here. If you want to increase it though, bend your chest over your leg. So hands either side of your leg for support. Keep your toes lifted, and the closer your chest is towards your side, the deeper the stretch will be in the hamstring. And then nice deep breath. So these are great stretches to do if you ever want to do the splits, which I can't, but one day maybe. And inhale. Exhale, we're going to roll through that front foot. We're going to bring your right hand to the inside and swing that leg back behind you. Okay, moving into your glute now. On all fours, you're going to bring your right knee to your right wrist, and then you're going to kick your foot out in front of your left knee. So you might need to move your left knee back so that you've got enough room to do that. And then lengthen your left leg out behind you. You should start to feel the stretch in your right bum and right outer hip. What you want to bear in mind is that you've got your hips level, so try not to sink down towards one side. You don't want to be sat on your bum. Keep them level, that's where you'll get the best stretch. And options are to stay here if that's enough, or take an inhale, and on your exhale come down to your elbows, and you can even lengthen your arms out in front and bring your forehead to the floor. So the closer your chest is to the floor, the deeper the stretch. Nice deep breaths again, relax into it. And inhale, exhale, walk your hands back up, unhook your leg and lift your chest back up. We're going to do the same sequence on the other side now. So left leg is going to come forward, straight leg out in front, and then you're going to bend your left knee, bring your hips forward, knee above your ankle, so readjust if you need to, check that back knee's comfortable, and then you should feel the stretch in your right hip flexor, so front of your hip, maybe in your quad too if that's tight. Breathing into it. Try and keep your hips to the front, try not to open out. And then you've got option to have hands to the floor or hands on your knee or wherever you like. Deep breaths, try and relax. And then inhale, exhale, push into that front foot, lift the toes, moving into the hamstring now. So you're either staying here or you're going to bend over that leg and find that stretch in your hamstring. So breathing again, keeping that toe lifted. Sometimes it tends to come down if it's too intense. If that happens, bring your chest up rather than bringing your toes down. Deep breaths. And inhale, exhale, roll through that foot. Left arm comes into the centre, swing that leg out behind you. And last stretch, we're going to do your glute on your left hand side. So left knee to left wrist, kick your left foot out in front of your right knee and then lengthen your right leg out behind you. Keep your hips level and then either staying here or you're going to inhale. And on your exhale, down onto your elbows or all the way down, breathing into it. You should feel this in the left glute outer hip area. And inhale, exhale, walk your hands back up, unhook that leg, sit back on your heels, give it a little rock side to side, should feel nice on your hips. And then we're going to come through onto all fours last time, tuck the toes under, lift up into your down dog, pedal your feet out. Should feel nice and loose now and relaxed from your breathing. Just press both heels down, nice deep inhale. On your exhale, walk your hands towards your toes. Pause here for a couple of breaths so you don't get a head rush. Hamstrings should be lengthened, so you should be able to come down a little bit further than normal with the upper body. And inhale, exhale, let your arms just flop in front. Pull your belly button up, restack nice and slowly. Roll your shoulders out at the top. Give your head a little shake. Both directions with the shoulders. And you've done it. Well done. Good job. See you for lesson 4. Oh, and happy Easter.